Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. Before I start this video, I have a message for the YouTube censor police, the ones whose apparent job is to censor conservatives on YouTube by making them jump through hoop after hoop after hoop regarding copyright. This message is for you. This photograph that I'm using in this video is a photograph that has been released by the Elect Mia Love for Congress organization and is in the public domain. So, having said that, I have no doubt that you're going to still make me jump through hoops to prove that I have the right to use this photo. Anyway, Mia Love. Yeah, I'm kind of disturbed that I have to make this video, but I felt compelled to. Not that I'm going to say anything that's going to be a shock to commonsensical people. Listen to me, commonsensical people. I'm not going to say anything that's going to be a shock to conservatives. At least the conservatives who have paid attention, especially to the media. Here's the thing. So, Mia Love, by the way, if you do not know who this woman is, you need to know. She is a phenomenal a Republican who is currently a mayor in Utah, and is running for Congress. Yes, she is running for Congress, and she is all kinds of awesome. Now, here's the thing. So, on the opening night of the Republican National Convention, she was a speaker. She got to the podium and she gave what became it was the first speech of the night that brought people onto their feet, got them out of their chairs and onto their feet. She is a dynamic person, and I think she has a very, very bright future in politics. That is, unless the left-wing media succeeds in what they are apparently trying to do, which is destroy her. Much like they did with Michelle Bachmann, much like they did with Sarah Palin, this is what the left-wing media does to conservative women. And this is a double whammy, okay, because this is a black conservative woman. So apparently they feel the need to pull out all the big guns. And the usual suspects are chiming in, your Al Sharptons and you know, buffoons like that, or should I say overseers like that. You know, those are the people that are put in charge of making sure that none of the black population in the United States manages to get themselves free of the Democratic plantation. Now, I know there are people going to say, oh, you can't say that. Well, it's like, I can say that, and I just did say that, and I will stand by that comment. The first person that I had ever heard actually refer to what the Democrats do to the African-American population in the United States as the Democratic plantation was the Hermanator, Herman Cain, when he was running for president. And he had made mention, you know, that he had gotten off the Democratic plantation a long time ago, but he also acknowledged that that is a very difficult thing to do, and if you're going to attempt to do that, you will feel the wrath of the Democratic Party. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to make this video about the Democratic plantation, because that, to be honest with you, would be a whole video on its own, if not a series of videos. But if you look at what the media is trying to do to Mia Love, it'll give you some kind of an idea of what I'm talking about, okay? First and foremost, some of the things that have been said about her are so heinous that I really am not, unless they come flying out of my mouth, do not expect me to repeat them. But if you Google her, you will hear and see all kinds of real nastiness, all coming from the left. Okay, but I hope not to slip up and say some of the things that they've called her, because it's disturbing. The racism coming from the left is staggering. It is absolutely staggering. You know, Mia Love is a woman who is, well, first of all, she's accomplished. She's an accomplished woman. But she has nothing but kindness in her heart. And it really disturbed me to see some of the things that the left was saying about her. I mean, calling her some of the most heinous things, in regards especially to her race. It just amazes me. It absolutely amazes me. And the saddest thing is that a lot of the people on the left that were saying the most heinous things were blacks themselves. It's just, it's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. You know, they've been so, well, you know what, and there I go. I don't want to go back to the Democratic plantation theory, but I will tell you that the fact that she wasn't, I can't even believe this, but I like to watch, I said this in my last video, I like to watch the left. I like to watch their coverage of events, and so I was watching MSNBC. And it wasn't really until much later that I had realized that MSNBC, well, along with most of mainstream media, in fact, I think all of the left-wing media, conveniently did not show any of the speeches from minorities, especially women. I didn't even know who Mia Love was until after the fact, and somebody had sent me a message and say, hey, what do you think about this Mia Love? I think she's phenomenal. And I'm like, who? You know, they sent me a link to her, and pretty quickly they had a YouTube video up of her speech, and I went and I watched it, and I said, why didn't I see this? Well, I didn't see it because I was watching MSNBC. And it just really amazes me. It's so blatant from the left. It's just so blatant. If you are a woman, or if you are a minority of any kind, you cannot be a Republican in their eyes. If you are a traitor to both your gender and your race, and if you've got the twofer, like what Mia Love has going on, then they've got to pull out all the stops to crucify. That's just it. They cannot have that. They cannot have that. They refused to show. In fact, you know, I don't know how many of you caught the sound bite, but there was an open mic incident. You know, we're all used to open mics, okay? Most politicians get caught at one time or another with an open mic. One of the most famous open mic incidents was Ronald Reagan, when during the Cold War he said, he made mention that the bombing will start in 10 minutes or something to that effect, which scared the bejeebus out of the Russians. They really thought he was unhinged, and that may have been him being sly. But there was an open mic incident in the background of the convention, and it was it caught a left-wing liberal media mogul. I don't want to say mogul. That's not actually. It's the editor, I believe, of the political wing of Yahoo. And this person at one point apparently worked, and I think as a producer with the PBS show Frontline, which is extreme left-wing nonsense, nothing but propaganda. Anyway, the open mic was interesting because what he was caught saying was that basically the Republicans like to party while black people are drowning. And it was a reference to the hurricane that was approaching Louisiana. It, in fact, had, I think, just hit ground, made landfall in Louisiana, which was such an extreme statement. Now, here's why this is important. Because this man that made this statement, the Republicans are happy to party while black people drown, that man, is one of the people that actually is in charge of getting you the information, getting you the news, covering the Republican National Convention, and that's how he feels. He comes from such a left-wing position that he's incapable of being fair and balanced on anything. He's incapable of covering the Republican National Convention. That's a fact. And what I seen from the media yesterday was absolutely shameless. I mean, shameless. I mean, I touched upon this in my last video. It was like they felt the need to be the Democratic response to every speech. Instead of covering the event, instead of covering the convention and the speakers, people like Mia Love, they chose to actually attack every message that every speaker brought forth. How is that journalism? That's, well, it's not. That's the answer to that. It's not journalism. It's pathetic is what it is. Anybody that's getting their news from Yahoo and considering it actual news, you need your head examined. Simple as that. Anybody that's getting your news and considers it legitimate news from MSNBC or NBC or really ABC or CBS, any of those outlets, you need your head examined. Now, if you're like me and you just are interested in keeping a kind of an eye on what the left wing is up to, then sure. Because all of those outlets are nothing more than the propaganda wings of the Democratic Party, the DNC. That's all they are. And by the same token, the propaganda wing of the re-elect Barack Obama campaign. Yeah, it's sad. The Soviets didn't see this kind of nonsense from Pravda. Well, actually, they did. I'm sure it all looks very familiar to them. It's just amazing to me. So, anyway, to get back to Mia Love, I'm going to leave a link in the comment section to her video, her speech, because I know a lot of people didn't get to see it. She is a rising star. I hope she's successful in beating her Democratic opponent in Utah. Oh, and by the way, real quick, in case you didn't know, because maybe you haven't read any of the left wing's slanderous crap about her, I love the way they slid in that she's a Mormon. Okay, they said, because in their minds, all right, because they know that the overwhelming majority of African Americans in the United States are Christian. In their minds, then, it makes it okay because she's a Mormon, you know. You know those Mormons, they're like a cult, you know. So they're not attacking a nice black Christian woman, no. They're attacking an evil Republican a Mormon woman that just happens to be a woman of color, you know. So they throw that stuff in there like, you know, she's a Mormon. You know she's a Mormon, right? She's a Mormon, you know. They throw that in there, and it's sickening. It's just sickening because I understand what they're trying to do. You know, they're really literally going to demonize this woman, much like they did with Sarah Palin. You know, you want to talk about a war on women? Okay, we had Sarah Palin, we had Michelle Bachmann, and now we got Mia Love. Yeah, I want the Democrats to talk to me about the war on women. Seriously. And now, not only do we have a war on women, but clearly we have a war on religion going on. And that's something that I really would like to do a whole video on, because I'm telling you right now, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. It's the demonization of religion in today's society, which is becoming mainstream and acceptable, apparently, from the left-wing media. It's horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. No matter how you feel about religion itself, or no matter how you feel about organized religion, the fact that you have apparently an effort to actually crush it, it's scary. And it reminds me, just last week, I think it was, Obama had a photo op where he and the family went to church. First time in 4 years. You know, I don't know who he thinks he's trying to kid. Christians know that he hates them. Christians know that he hates religion. You know, these aren't even anything I think that a sensible person would even be willing to debate anymore. You know, I mean, seriously. In fact, well, I'm going to leave it at that. Listen, check out Mia Love. She is a rising star. She's an important person. But no, don't only educate yourself on her, but I want you to be aware, become aware, and be observant of how the left-wing media and the left in general, the Democratic Party, treat this woman. Because they're going to try to stamp her out before she becomes really popular. I guarantee you that. They're going to, if she won't get back to the reservation where she belongs, in their opinion, okay, or as Joe Biden would say, if she's not willing to get chained, you know, then they're going to have to try to destroy her politically. They don't have any choice in their minds, because they cannot have young, articulate people of color, especially women. They cannot have those people shedding light on the truth, which is that the Democratic Party has been the ones who have kept minorities and poor people, women, in chains. Literally. And that's not figurative. Well, okay, it is figurative, but still, you know what I'm saying. All right, everybody, take care. See ya!